Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome into round number 9 of the 2018 Racetech Pro Nationals and MX Simulator Series presented by RaceFactoryGaming.com. My name is Kellen Brower here at Start Your Systems TV, and we are set to provide you guys with about 3.5 hours of intense MX Simulator action here at Washougal tonight. 4 rounds remaining in the championship, and things are definitely heating up, mostly in the 450 class. The 250 class seemingly all but wrapped up at this point, talking about the 250 class and where we are with the championship standings. Jack Haley enters tonight in tonight's 250 class on 363 points to his championship closest championship contender, Sean Klein, on 278 points. So very clearly, Haley is the man to beat here in this 250 class this year. Over 100-point advantage. Just needs to have that same distance advantage in the points lead after Unadilla, which is the next round after this one, and he will be your 2018 250 national champion. So we're going to get the 250 guys started here in just a minute. The UIDs will be grabbed, and then we will get the racing underway. We are, 10 seconds from the UID grabs, so started a touch earlier than normally tonight, but in the meantime, while we wait for them UIDs to be grabbed, I'll show you guys around tonight's Washougal track. From my perspective, which is a terrible one at that, I am no good at this game anymore, but I'm going to do the best that I can. Love Washougal, really fun track in this game and in real life as well. And of course, Horsepower Hill will be greeting these guys first thing up the hill out of turn number 2 off the start, right up over the top of Horsepower Hill. These 250Fs are obviously going to have to get a little bit more power out of those bikes than I am on my 450 here. Couple rollers in the back, little turn jump, and then a crash because I'm terrible. And then we're going to drop down into this little valley here at the bottom. This is technically an off-camber corner. The way that the ruts will develop, you'll see it actually gets a little bit deeper, and is kind of, I don't know, more or less used as a banked corner eventually because of the way the ruts developed, and then come down off this drop-off into the classic Washougal switchback here. Little left-right action, kind of a chicane for those of you that are familiar with auto racing terms. Another drop down into a tabletop, and I'm only going to get us halfway through the lap here as we have a restart coming, and I'd imagine that this is going to be our consolation race tonight if we had enough people. Let's see. Perhaps? Talking about 250 class again, we will break down the qualifying times, and it doesn't look like we had enough people qualified tonight to constitute a consolation race. So we're going to have 250 Moto number 1 coming up right away. And this 250 class has been somewhat dominated all year long by those Relaxatire Suzukis, and Washougal is no exception as they lock out the top 4 qualifying positions with your current championship leader Jack Haley setting a 221.5, his teammate Tyler Lang right behind him on a 221.8, Colby Eagland on a 222 flat, and Devin Ryan on a 222.3 is a Relaxatire 1 through 4. First non-Relaxatire rider is Isaiah Dickerson, clocking in 5th with a 222.3 as well. Actually tied Devin Ryan with a 222.319. So actually those guys tied on 4th place, technically speaking. Trent Shepard, Walter Gebhardt, Braden Carter, Dale Mullins, and Sean Klein round out your top 10. Of course, Klein second in the championship standings entering, but they're going to need an absolute miracle to catch Jack Haley. And of course, Haley's wanting to keep his streak alive thus far this season. Haley is undefeated when it comes to overalls. He is not going 24-0, but his overall standings are perfect so far. He has won every national thus far. And of course, had a dominating 1-1 performance last week at Millville. So we'll see if Haley can keep the ball rolling here at Washougal. Will somebody else step up, make a challenge? We will find out. In fact, we're about to find out as these guys are out on their parade lap, sighting out the track one last time before we get underway. Go through the field a little bit. We got Tony Spinelli, Dakota French, Gustavo Deniz, Brett Powers, Rico Delat, Garrett Oliver, Kevin Gonzalez, David Prevost, Jacob Hubbard, Dale Mullins, Jack Haley, Walter Gebhardt, Ivan Medina, Jacob Warden, Jack Gatlin, Garrett Hollenbeck, Devin Ryan, Jarrett Gaskew, Sean Klein, Matthias Janis, Zoa Cross, Colby Eagland, Ash Deering, Trevor Schaefer, Phil Bull, Dylan Gatlin, and Isaiah Dickerson as these guys all head towards the big step up in the back. These guys, like I said, working their parade lap right now, so we will see these guys get their moto started in just a minute. And while I'm going through the field, I'll pick a versus PCO to watch. We'll go with iLab.com's Zoa Cross here on the number 48. Zoa's a pretty consistent point scorer, so I'm sure we'll see him during the moto at some point anyway. But versus PCO to watch here, moto number 1, we'll keep an eye on Zoa Cross. We'll be sure to check with him at varying points during the moto, see how he is doing, and see whether or not he is working his way forwards or backwards. Or maybe, just maybe, he's going to pull off a victory here. We'll see, though, as the parade lap is wrapping up. So here we go, 250 moto number 1 getting lined up on the gates as we speak. The Washougal National here live on SYS TV. Round number 9 of the Race Tech Nationals. 250 moto number 1. Who are we going to watch on the start here? Haley doesn't tend to get good starts. Dickerson actually does get good starts, and he won the warm-up lap, and he's all the way on the inside, so we'll keep an eye on him as that 30 board goes sideways. The revs come up on these bikes. We are set to go. Moto number 1 here at Washougal is underway as the gate goes down, and it actually is a huge hole shot for Jack Haley. Looks like he got a great jump out of the inside. He's going to lead them into the first turn, and Haley on the 57 will, in fact, pick up that MXSEMF.com hole shot award and lead the whole field up Horsepower Hill the first time. He's got a freight train of riders behind him. His teammate Lane goes down in the background. I see Gebhardt, Ryan, Solis, Phil Bull on the 40. I think that was Seberg on the 55 as they crest Horsepower Hill for the first time. Haley out front is not what the rest of the field likes to see at all this year. He has been lethal once he gets the lead, nearly untouchable, as Gebhardt's trying to give him an early attack here. We know Gebhardt's got the race-winning speed in him. It's more or less about putting the whole moto together, and maybe if he can steal this lead away early, he'll put a little bit of pressure on Haley to maybe fight back, kind of open up the door a little bit for the rest of the field to get in and make some passes as well, as it's Haley, Gebhardt, Devin Ryan, and Phil Bull right here at the sharp end of the field. Right behind them is Kevin Gonzalez and his teammate, Trent Shepard. He's got Ben Seberg right behind him, and that is Colby Eagland on the 891, so Relaxed Tire still well supported in the top 10, despite Tyler Ling hitting the deck on the first lap, but here we go over the step up the first lap. Things already getting a little bit frisky for second as Gebhardt's slowly losing the trail here a little bit from Haley. Not as hot on his heels as he was a few corners ago, but who is hot on his heels is Haley's teammate on that number 34, Devin Ryan. Phil Bull also giving the pressure to the 34 of Ryan. So we come down to the finish line. Another classic section here at Washougal is the whoops before the finish. Looks like Gebhardt's hopping through him like a bunny rabbit as Jack Haley just plows through him like a supercross whoop section. And we are one lap in the books. Look at Devin Ryan peeking down the inside, trying to show Gebhardt a wheel as they work through the flatter part of the track here, out of the hills. No trees here, so those tricky shadows won't play a factor. Ryan's looking left, right, up and down, anywhere he can to try to find a line to get to the inside of Gebhardt and maybe make that pass. Talked about the qualifying times. Relaxed Tire 1, 2, 3, 4 in qualifying, and I'm sure they want to take that over into the motos here today. Devin Ryan at least is going to try to make it a 1-2 as Gebhardt makes a small mistake out of the inside of the corner. Here comes Ryan shooting down the inside. He's going to throw it in and make contact with Gebhardt, put him up and over the berm. A little early to get aggressive, but he was taking no prisoners there as Gebhardt is down and off the track. He's going to get going, and he is now behind our versus PC1 to watch Zoa Cross, who's right behind Colby Eagland here. He is running in the 8 spot as they crest Horsepower Hill. So already some action kicking off here. Devin Ryan throwing down the gauntlet and just moving Walter Gebhardt out of his way. Does not want anything to do with that. He's going to try to set sail after his race-leading teammate Jack Haley. Meanwhile, Phil Bull is starting to come a little under attack from Phil's Racing Kevin Gonzalez on the 182. Gonzalez has had a pretty good season thus far, and he's looking to capitalize early here, maybe move into a podium position around Phil Bull. These guys send it into this little sand section, working their way up to the classic step up. So many interesting aspects of this track that we'll get into talking about. I'm sure that those whoops break down before the finish. We'll see guys changing up their lines. If you're new to Race Tech Nationals and MX Simulator, this is the first year in this game's 10-year history that we are using online erode in these races. So you'll see a couple starter ruts developed. Just imagine as if they're still there from qualifying practice earlier today. And what these guys will do is they go through those ruts. Each lap as Devin Ryan has hit the deck before the finish line. He's going to lose a couple spots. Gonzalez goes through. Looks like Ryan actually fell off the bike. And Zoa crossover versus PC1 to watch is toppling over in the background. And it looks like he may have taken Trent Shepard with him. Gebhardt's getting going, and he's actually caught Devin Ryan. So we'll hold that thought on the erode here for a second, as Gebhardt's probably not going to be too happy with Devin Ryan, given the kind of a punt that Devin Ryan gave to him earlier. Definitely an aggressive block pass, to say the least. So Gebhardt's going to set sail after Devin Ryan here. And while they do that, continuing the thought about the erode, you'll see the track break down. So these guys ride through it each time. The lines will get deeper, the bumps will get choppier, bigger. And you'll notice later in the moto that it'll look like a completely different racetrack as Gebhardt makes a small mistake there. And as mentioned, that is completely new to MX Simulator Racing this year. Before, it was all preset racetrack. Track builders would build in ruts and bumps and everything into the track, and guys would just get used to those ruts. Now the track is ever changing, and that has been a storyline in this season as guys have had to adjust their suspension to kind of fit that ever-changing nature of the tracks. It's no longer just hot lap heroes and everybody can run the same line at top speed. It is a lot of moving around, changing your lines halfway through the race, setting up your suspension so it can handle stuff like that as it gets choppier and deeper. And we have a battle still brewing here. Gebhardt is starting to apply a little bit more pressure to Devin Ryan. Ooh, Devin Ryan lays it over on that ski jump there. In and out of the sand and up to the step up. Gebhardt's really trying hard here to get to him. And as mentioned, their contact earlier on leads me to believe we might see some more of it between these two. This is your battle for fifth. Ahead of these guys, Kevin Gonzalez riding very strong right behind Ben Seberg, who's actually made the best charge through the field. When we first saw Seberg, he was in around the 8th spot. He's up to 3rd, and you can see race leader Jack Haley up and over the finish line. Phil Bull has slotted into 2nd, with Seberg putting on a nice charge here. The Australian is up to 3rd and coming after his fellow countryman, Phil Bull. With the track not as deep and rutted out yet, of course, it is still kind of a sprint. In these early stages, these guys using the smoother track to their advantage to push the envelope maybe a little bit more, which could lead to more mistakes, but so far this season has more or less led to some pretty evenly spaced out racing, and as the track gets rougher, it definitely lends to some riders. See, we're not able to keep touch with Phil Bull just yet. Kevin Gonzalez kind of all alone as Devin Ryan still trying to reel him in. Then we got Walter Gebhardt. Here is Sean Klein. Jack Haley over 100 points clear of Sean Klein in the championship. So really not much of a championship battle to speak of. But Klein is still 2nd in the standings and looking for the 2nd year in a row to maybe finish in that position. Lost out to Colton Mitchell last year in the 2017 Nationals. Finished 2nd in the 250 class then. Perhaps on his way to doing just the same again this year. Was hoping for one position better, but at this late stage in the championship, it's looking less and less likely as Devin Ryan almost ejects through the front of the bike on the drop down. He is trying to get to Kevin Gonzalez, who just made a small bobble and went a little too wide on the exit of the chicane. So now Ryan, who it looked like was going to be under attack from Gebhardt, is starting to apply the pressure here to the 182 of Kevin Gonzalez. And Devin Ryan continues to just absolutely lay it over on that ski jump. Up and over the step up. A little bit of Habsy dualies. Not too much action out of Gonzalez right there. I think he's probably in focus mode as that's Seberg on the deck right there. They just went around the 55 machine. So just as we had saw, Seberg was up to third. He crashes his way and he is now back to the 6th spot. So this essentially moves this 3-rider train up to the battle for third. Gonzalez assumes the 3rd spot and he's going to slide it down. So Devin Ryan and Walter Gebhardt are able to go on through. And you see Phil Bull just ahead of these guys at his 2nd place. Battle continues to ensue now for 3rd, as it was your battle for 5th at the beginning of this lap. At the end of the lap, they are now 3rd and 4th. So Ryan's definitely put on a nice charge, and at the very least, Gebhardt is doing a really good job of just staying with him and trying to go forward. Phil Bull kind of all alone. And really all alone is your race leader, Jack Haley, untouched. 10 minutes into this moto, he got the whole shot, and he's slowly just kind of creeped away from these guys. Not really doing anything amazingly special, not laying down huge hot laps or anything wild like that, but he's just ever so slightly creeping away from Phil Bull, who you can see just off in the distance on that camera view. You can see Haley rolling through this section. Phil Bull just coming over the crest of Horsepower Hill. So it's Bull, Ryan, Gebhardt, then Gonzalez. Sean Klein is now up to 6th. Seberg is drifted back to 7th. Eagland now finds himself in 8th. Here's Jacob Hubbard with the marshmallow-themed helmet. I dig it. He's running in 9th. And Trent Shepard behind him. We'll go on board with Tyler Lang, who is down in that 2nd corner scrum. As he crests over the top of Horsepower Hill, he has now found his way into the top 10. So all 4 Relaxa Tire Suzukis now inside of the top 10, and Lang is looking to go around Trent Shepard in front of him here. He's going to try to sneak to the inside and hook this rut. He's got a great drive, but Shepard using that outside momentum to his advantage. They're going to funnel into this inside rut, definitely the deeper rut, and Shepard actually lays it over on the inside, so a little bit of a bobble, and Lang has gone through. That was weird. So I'm not sure what happened to Shepard there. Zoa Crossar versus PC on the watch is right behind him in 12th, applying the pressure to him. Isaiah Dickerson, warm-up lap winner, holds down the 13th spot right now, and woof, lands a little sideways there, but able to hold it together. Ash Steering is in 14th, Matthias Janis 15th, Jacob Warden is in 16th, Jack Gatlin holding down 17th, 18th for Dakota French. Brett Powers, Donut MX, has found his way up into points. He is in 19th, and he is ahead of Jarrett Gaskew, who is in our final points-paying position right now in 20th. But Rico Delat is trying to go after him. Holding down 21st, Harry White 22nd, Medina right behind him 23rd. 24th for Gatlin. Gustavo Diniz, the Brazilian rider, is on the ground. He's going to cough up 25th to Alana Salas. And Braden Carter goes through for 26th. Diniz gets going. He is side-by-side with Dale Mullins for 27th and 28th. And a little bit of cross-jump carling there. Tony Spinelli behind them. He is on a 1-2-5 out here at Washougal. So just ripping it up on that lawnmower. And he was alongside of Alex Cunningham there. Then we got Trevor Schaefer. Garrett Hollenbeck is out of the moto. So this is the last of the runners still in this race out here. And we will touch base with those guys a little bit later on. Oh, we have a crash. That was Devin Ryan, who just hit the deck, and it caused a mad scrum as Sean Klein is ahead of Walter Gebhardt. Ben Seberg finds his way off the side of the track, but now the dash up Horsepower Hill as Gebhardt's trying to lay down that iLob.com machine to get around Sean Klein. Wow, a little front tire tap there. Nice job to save it for the 31. So Gebhardt applying the pressure, comes in hot and almost into the back of Klein, then makes a small mistake. So here comes Seberg. The Bumblebees. Different teams, but both yellow machines behind Gebhardt, applying the pressure. Seberg, Ryan, all right here on the back of Walter Gebhardt. Oh, Gebhardt makes another mistake. Is he still going to get the triple? He's landing off the side of the track, and he gets it, and he still holds on to the spot too as he launches off the single, and he goes down. A little bit of an OJ, and it takes Seberg with him. Seberg looked like he had almost nowhere to go. That's going to allow Eaglin to go through. There is Kevin Gonzalez on the 182 also going through, and these guys are going to get up right in front of Jacob Hubbard here as he's trying to work his way forward. So a costly mistake there for Gebhardt. Also cost Ben Seberg is back out front. Race leader Jack Haley checks in onto lap number 7. Putting this thing in cruise control here as Phil Bull continues to just slowly lose about a second or so a lap. 230.2 last time by a 227.6. So Haley actually put the afterburners on there. Phil Bull maybe had a couple of mistakes. You can clearly see track map in the upper right hand corner of your screen, just the kind of lead that these two already have on the rest of the field though. I mean, Haley about equidistance ahead of Bull as Bull is of the rest of the field, maybe even more so. Yeah, Bull's probably looking at about a 15-second advantage. On third place, 17 seconds to be exact, Sean Klein. So good ride here for Klein to fight his way forward. Got a gnarly kick in that corner, and the rear end swung around, hooked up, and almost looped his Larry there. But a nice save for the 10 machine. Oh, and he's down! Blew the rut out, so Devin Ryan goes back on through. There is Eagland going through. And Gonzalez with Gebhardt. Here is Hubbard with Tyler Lang putting the pressure down the inside. And oh, Hubbard goes down. So Seberg's going to go on through. Looks like Shepard will not get there in time. About this drag race up the uphill, Walter Gebhardt on Kevin Gonzalez. And again, throwing down a nice little scrub right there at the top. Oh, Gebhardt really applying the pressure here. Tried to jump a little bit longer. Now he's going to try to go to the inside, and he loses the front end over the rut. And down he goes. So here comes, I believe Lang is coming. And yes, he is. There he is on the 71. Just getting to Gebhardt as he gets going. And Lang, believe it or not, is the last of your 4 Relaxa Tire Suzuki riders. And he is currently in a battle for 7th with Walter Gebhardt. So this is about to be Relax Suzuki in 1 through 7 spots, all 4 of them. 4 Relaxa Suzukis in the top 7 spots right now, and something tells me Tyler Lang isn't done. Your second fastest qualifier is on the move, as he made a nice move there on Walter Gebhardt and continues to just scrub it out on that single right there. These guys look like they have got the flow going. So Eagland, his teammate Devin Ryan ahead of him. These guys are 3 and 4. And Phil Bull and Jack Haley. So while we have all these guys kind of somewhat separated, I would say, not a ton, but somewhat, we'll go ahead and do a Race Tech run through the field. Race Tech suspension and engines, racetech.com. Folks, you guys can check them out. Privateers choose Race Tech. Overwhelmingly so, and with good reason. Those guys have a great support team operating the pits every weekend, helping out the privateers of the sport get their stuff done. So check out racetech.com for your suspension and engine needs. Jack Haley, number 57, Relaxa Tire Suzuki, is leading this thing, and we'll take a look at Horsepower Hill, get an idea of his race lead right now. He has not caught lappers yet, so we're probably going to have a little bit of a gap here at the end of this. You can see the green machine, Australia's own Phil Bull on the number 40 works his way up Horsepower Hill here. Nicely up over the top, and as I said, these two had a sizable lead. It's gone down a little bit for Bull, who must have made a mistake, and Devin Ryan is in 3rd. It looks like Eagland just dropped it in the background, so that's going to move Sean Klein here on the 10 up to the 4 ride, and there he goes. So Eagland slots back to 5th. Got a battle between Tyler Lang and Walter Gebhardt. Excuse me, coming up the hill. It is still side by side over the top. Great battle right there. And then Gonzalez trailing right behind them. I believe he is in 8th, which means Ben Seberg right here should be in 9th. Oh, but he's going to go down. So Marshmallow headed. Jacob Hubbard is going to go through into 9th. I think that is Trent Shepard that just went down. Seberg clipped the top block, come back on the track. He is in 10th. There is Shepard in 11th. Here is 12th versus PC, one to watch. Ryder Zoa Cross. 13th is Dickerson. 14th is Janice on the 41. 15th, I believe this is Ash Deering coming to the top. Yes, it is. There's 16th of Jacob Warden. 17th looks like it's Dakota French. Yes, it is. 18th, 812 is Rico Delat. 19th, I think, is Donut MX right there. Oh, and over the bars goes Harry White out of 20th, so his teammate is going to go on through. Jack Gatlin moves into the final points-paying position. All these TMFR guys are on the struggle bus back here. Harry White is in 21st. There's Alana Solis in 22nd. I couldn't see it. It might have been the 122 machine. Don't want to speculate on the number just yet, though. So we'll wait for the ticker to update. Here's Ivan Medina and Jarrett Gaskew, which is, I believe, that is 23rd and 24th. And it's a 123, so 122 is wrong. Braden Carter is in 22nd. Solis 23rd. Gaskew up to 24th. And Medina, as we saw there, in 25th. Next up should be Alex Cunningham here on the 266. And he is all over the place. And Dale Mullins has been officially put a lap down as your race leader completes the race tech run through the field. Jack Haley up and over the top of Horsepower Hill. Very nice ride out front for Haley. Controlled, comfortable lead, 23 seconds out front. Makes small mistakes like that, but no biggie. Hops out of the rut, goes into the next one. No pressure from behind. Meanwhile, pressure about to be coming from behind as Phil Bull has been caught by Jack Haley's teammate on that Relaxa Tire Suzuki. Devin Ryan is putting the pressure on the Aussie. Up and over the top of Horsepower Hill they come. And it is on at Washougal. Who wants that second spot? About all these guys have left to fight for with Haley's dominance this season. So Ryan swinging around that lapped rider right there. Dropping off the top. They're all kind of funneling to that inside line as the lapped rider of Trevor Schaefer hits the deck. And the battle continues here. Nice little scrub on the triple, and we've seen Devin Ryan lay it over. Oh my goodness, on that single. Stays a little bit lower, gets the power back to the ground, and he's got a great drive. He is all over Phil Bull as they come up to the step up. No dualies as Devin Ryan was hoping not to get cross jump there. And so Phil Bull able to tuck to that inside line and hold on to the spot. Still the best battle on track, though, as Devin Ryan is starting to search for some alternate lines. Swings a little bit wide there in that corner. Now he's trying to hop over some ruts. Making a few mistakes here, but it seems as though he can afford to make those mistakes and still catch Phil Bull. They're coming up to lap Tony Spinelli as Devin Ryan almost puts the front wheel too deep into those ruts, and those things can be deadly if you go in nose first. So Ryan's making a few mistakes here. As I said, it seems like he's been able to kind of catch Phil Bull at will. Made a 232 last time by, and he's still right on him. And look at just continuing to make mistakes, hopping over ruts. So Bull survives the challenge for now. Can Devin Ryan remount the attack? We will find out. Coming up to 7 minutes and 2 laps remaining here. 250 moto number 1 here at Washougal, round number 9 of the Race Tech Nationals. You see Devin Ryan, he's starting to experiment with this inside line here before Horsepower Hill. I think it's just because there's no good bumps to land off of anymore. It used to be that, in this game at least, you could kind of jump and downside a roller going up Horsepower Hill, and that'd be the best way to carry your momentum. I saw Haley kind of experimenting with it early in the moto, but it's almost like if you could kind of scrub down that single at the bottom and just put the power down and get that speed rolling up the hill, that you're better off, which is might be the reason why Devin Ryan's starting to experiment with the inside. I mean, there's no good rut there, so really Phil Bull carrying his momentum around the outside is the better option, but it's the shorter option for Ryan. I think that's appetizing to him at the moment. We'll see how it plays out as we're sticking with the onboard camera here. Definitely starting to put a little bit more pressure on Bull. Let's see what it looks like onboard for Devin Ryan as he scrubs it down the single, and see Phil Bull getting a little sideways in front of him as well as they go up to the step up, and Ryan's trying to pull alongside again, but still no can do. Almost a little short on the step up. Now he's going to go to the inside here. He's going to rip this inside rut and pull right alongside. Did he get the spot? He did. A nice inside move Devin Ryan makes on Phil Bull. Continuing to use that outside to in option, and it sets him up maybe a little bit better here at the bottom. So Devin Ryan is up to second. That makes it a Relaxa Tire 1-2 at the moment. Oh, Phil Bull hopping off the track in the background there. He's trying to get the drive in the whoops, but not able to make it happen. Tyler Lang is up to fourth, and man, is he charging. Made the pass on Sean Klein, and he is coming. Walter Gebhardt behind Sean Klein here. And then Colby Eaglin, the other Relaxa Tire rider. How about Matthias Janis? This is a pretty good ride for Janis. Probably not going to get to Eaglin in seventh. He's a little too far back, about 25 seconds behind him. But Janis, when we first latched onto him, I think he was in about 16th, maybe 15th spot. Now has found his way up to 8th, and it looks like the charge has worked out pretty well for him and his teammate, actually, Isaiah Dickerson. They were both in about the same spot, and as I latch onto Dickerson, he hits the deck, but that's okay. Keeps on going. Holding down the 9 spot, and Jacob Hubbard, last guy inside of the top 10. Amazing that he can see out of that thing. I mean, it is just no vision. I mean, he's not even running goggles. I've got to imagine his eyes are practically bleeding with the rooster on this track right now, but I'll tell you what, he is making that thing work. Here's versus PCU 1 to watch rider Zoa Cross on the iLab.com machine. Looks like Kevin Gonzalez has unfortunately thrown out the anchor just a little bit too early here. Was running inside of the top 10, really the top 5 for so much of this moto. And as we approach about 3.5 minutes plus 2 laps to go, he has found his way backwards. But Zoe Cross is looking pretty good. Our versus PCO 1 to watch is making it look awful crispy out here. Normally when we pick somebody that we think might do well in a moto, they tend to DNF. So it's nice to see Cross putting out an 11th place performance here. And unchallenged. How about Rico DeLatte and Harry White? Look at these two guys. These guys are both outside of points. In that first little run through the field that we did, these guys were outside of the top 20, and they're now in 12th and 13th ahead of Gonzalez here. I mean, this is a really impressive charge for these two. And DeLatte, we don't see much of. He races the EMF EU series. But impressive stuff out of both of these riders to kind of turn their fortunes around as Harry White goes a touch long over Horsepower Hill. Battle commences between these two, but I think that they're pretty content with the fact that they've made it this far forward. I know what it feels like sometimes to be outside of the points early and feel like you're just going nowhere. So the fact that these guys have made it up as far as they have to 12th and 13th is, I gotta imagine, a plus in both of their minds and gives them a little bit more confidence going into that second moto. We'll see if they can convert on it. Meanwhile, Harry White's making a couple of mistakes. And Kevin Gonzalez starting to reapply the pressure, actually looking at a different line, and it's a good thing he did because Harry White yard sailed on the outside. That's going to give Jacob Warden a spot here. So White makes a mistake, loses a couple spots. Behind him, Trent Shepard and Jack Gatlin. Dakota French, Brett Powers, and Ash Deering all mixed together. I believe Deering's 19th. No, he is in 20th, so still just holding on to the final points paying position. How about Brett Powers? The man, the myth, the legend. Oh, what a vicious track re-entry by Jack Gatlin. Almost T-bones Dakota French. That moves Powers up to 18th, and the battle goes now to Deering and Gatland here. So these guys continue to fight over several points paying positions. Out front, Haley, his teammate Devin Ryan, and now Tyler Lang has moved his way up to 3rd, and he's not done. He's going after his own teammate Devin Ryan. It is a 1-2-3 performance for Relax Attire. At this point, it's just going to be where they finish, and I think Tyler Lang wants to be the guy that's second in line here. I'll tell you what, man, Tyler Lang, towards the beginning of the season in Supercross, he was a good rider, but this is a completely different Tyler Lang. He made a team switch to Relax Attire late in the season in Supercross. I believe he actually landed on the podium at one round as well. And since they've come outdoors, he's definitely been flying, but that is not going to help his case as he somehow keeps it on the bike, but the way that he's high-centered on that rut has also cost him a lot of time. And just as it looked like he had it all together and Devin Ryan was going to be his next target, he is 6 seconds adrift and he'll have to go back to work. How about Colby Eagland? He is making it a Relax Attire lockout. Oh my, they have qualified 1 through 4, and now they are 1 through 4 on the racetrack. Walter Gebhardt going to try to change that. In fact, 1 through 4 on the racetrack was also 1 through 4 in qualifying, I believe. Let's take a look, or 1 through 5, I should say. We will take a look and confirm. No, I'm sorry, Isaiah Dickerson was actually 5th fastest qualifier, so Gebhardt 7th fastest, trying to make the most of the turnaround. We've lost Phil Bull going backwards a little bit there as he's behind Sean Klein now, so all 4 of these guys still kind of locked together. Probably the closest battle on track, and Gebhardt definitely wants to break up this Relaxed Suzuki party just a little bit. Look at that, around the outside, he's gonna have the inside in the next corner. Eagland just lets him have it. And a nice smooth pass. Walter Gebhardt gets to the inside and moves his way up to 4th. Does he have anything else? Can he go catch these guys? Man, I'll tell you what, Tyler Lang is absolutely flying. A 244 last time by doesn't suggest the aforementioned statement, but we'll stay on board with him here for just a minute as we have now crest past the 30-minute mark. So the 2-lap board should be out next time by. Look at the time between himself and teammate Devin Ryan just slowly coming down. You can see on the pit board on the left-hand side, it tells you what lap they're on, what position they're in, and the distance to the rider in front of them. The only time it won't show you the rider in front of you is if you are the race leader, as Jack Haley is. And his pit board probably says something along the lines of plus 42 something right now. So that -4 shows the distance between Lang and teammate Devin Ryan in second. Now it's down to -3, and I'll tell you what, Lang is absolutely flying. Takes out the flagger stand right there. Lang is absolutely flying around this Washougal track right now, and he is coming to 2 laps to go. Can he flip the script on his teammate Devin Ryan? Less than 2 seconds in it, and it was greater than 5 at the beginning of the lap, so we'll take a look at the lap times here at the end and see just how well Lang was able to do. Look at him triple, and kind of looping around at the end there. 2:27.1 puts down his own best lap of the race, a 2:32.1, so 5 seconds completely faster than his teammate Devin Ryan. It looks to me like Tyler Lang has got a setup that really works here as the track develops later in the race, or at the very least, he's got the confidence in the bike to make it work the way it's working. So here we go. And Lang is absolutely flying here and just putting all that pressure on his teammate. And Ryan, hold on. Is he going to crack? Is Lang just going to flat out pass him? I have no idea. Definitely some teammates discussing what's going on. A little crossover move from Lang as they come up Horsepower Hill. Does he get the drive? He lands deep, but I think he's going to power him out over the hill, and he does. Tyler Lang with a nice pass, although he's sideways at the top, and a good save. It looked like Devin Ryan did almost the same thing in the background, but came up a little bit shorter, so it was easier to save. Those drifting scrubs that they do, kind of like an oppo whip over the top of the hill, can be deadly sometimes here at Washougal with those little braking bumps at the top of Horsepower Hill. So now Colby Eagland has gotten his way back around Gebhardt. It is another Relaxa tire 1 through 4. And the only difference is that Colby Eagland qualified 3rd and Devin Ryan qualified 4th. Otherwise, they're in 1 through 4 from qualifying. And just carrying that momentum right on over. Oh, Phil Bull has hit the deck, and he lost the spot there to Gebhardt. So Phil Bull continues to struggle. Sean Klein is going to go on through. Make a small mistake of his own right there. Taking a quick glance at the standings again. So Jack Haley was 105 points ahead of Sean Klein, and Klein, as they run, is in 6th, which is good for 15 points in this moto. So the points that Klein is going to score in this moto ensures that the championship at least goes to Unadilla, because there's no way Haley can leave here with 140 or 150 point advantage if Klein is able to wrap up 15 points here in this moto. Pretty much what needed to happen was Klein finish 16th, or I guess, yeah, 16th or worse in one moto and not finish the second moto for Haley to go 1-1 and wrap it up here, which is a stretch, but it was possible. I'll tell you what, though, Haley is pretty much unstoppable here. I mean, there's not much more you can do correct this season than what Haley has been able to accomplish here, except maybe go 24-0. But I mean, that's a tall ask in MX Simulator. As I say that, and I'm talking about him, he hits the deck there. But that's all good. Haley is still perfect in the overall categories. Just to give you an idea of the amount of points he's scored at each round, it is 50-50, 3 47s in a row, the only 45 he's gotten all season, but still won the national. And then a 47 and a 50 performance last weekend. So essentially what that means is he went 1-1, 1-1, 2-1, 2-1, 2-1, 3-1, 2-1, 1-1. He has not finished off the podium in a moto all year, and he is now getting pretty close to this championship as he is on his way to victory here in moto number 1 at Washougal. So he put Mr. Harry White a lap down and put the rest of the field way in his rearview mirror. Here he comes down the finish line. The number 57 of Jack Haley wins moto number 1 at Washougal, continuing to extend his points lead. It looks as though Tyler Lang is going to hang on to second. No pressure from Devin Ryan. The battle for 5th is still a half-decent one. Walter Gebhardt trying to apply the pressure to Eagland to break up this relaxed attire party. Oh, and Gebhardt pushing a little too hard, perhaps, hits the deck, but I think he's going to get up ahead of Sean Klein, so that should solidify the Relax Attire 1 through 4 in this moto, which is absolutely incredible as Devin Ryan brings it home in 3rd, so improves on his qualifying position of 4th and outduels his teammate Colby Eagland, who, for what it's worth, also got a terrible start, so he's going to need to turn that around in moto number 2, which will be coming up pretty quickly here. But Relax Attire locks out the top 4. It's like watching the Pro Circuit team of 2011 right now. This is incredible, these guys, as Gebhardt is able to take home 5th. Sean Klein will indeed get 6th. So that's going to be 15 points right there that he needs to at least keep the championship alive going to Unadilla. If he was unable to finish the second moto, the biggest points gap that Haley could hope for leaving here then is 140 points with a victory in the second moto. As I said, it is 115 points though, the gap. As Phil Bull almost loops out over the line, he is going to go ahead and pick up that 7th spot though. Isaiah Dickerson, a nice climb through the field as we mentioned with his teammate Matthias Janis. He is going to bring this thing home in 8th. And Janis, his teammate, looks like he has got 9th, all but locked up. And Marshmallow Headman Jacob Hubbard putting BPC inside of the top 10 here in the 250 class. Good to see. So through the hoopties, Hubbard's going to put this thing in 10th. Our versus PC one to watch, Zoa Cross. A solid moto for the 48. Probably going to be a little disappointed he couldn't quite crack that top 10, but an 11th is still a strong showing here. And nicely done. Does, in fact, hold off Rico Delat, who also had a great ride to come from pretty far back and find his way up into 12th there late. And Kevin Gonzalez is going to be the last guy to bring it home for us, as he is the final guy on the lead lap here in 13th, but he is swap diddly whopping all his way into the final corner here. So here comes Gonzalez. I think this will give us cuts, and it will. And nothing changed ahead of him, so behind Gonzalez it was Harry White, Jacob Warden, Jack Gatlin, Dakota French, Brett Powers, P18 for Donut, 19th is Ash Deering, and 20th was Trent Shepard, so nothing affected our points paying position finishers. I mean, the only blemish for Laxa Tire is that Garrett Hollenbeck didn't finish the moto. Only made it 4 laps. But I think they'll take 1 through 4 and 32nd here. I mean, doesn't get too much better than that there. So that's pretty good for the Relaxa Tire guys. We'll see if they're able to hold it together in Moto number 2, which is going to be coming up in 5 minutes. All right, so as we are on our little intermission here, as these guys are going to go ahead and peruse around for the next 5 minutes before Moto number 2, we'll open it up to the chat again. A little bit of an Ask Me Anything. If you guys have any questions about the racing, anything you want to ask me, I am here to answer for you. We got about 103 live viewers currently. Always great to see that this late into the season we still have numbers up. I was actually just thinking about it today while I was at work. If I'm completely honest with you guys, I used to get a little burnt out late in the season when it came to streaming, but every night that I've streamed the Supercross and Nationals this year, definitely looked forward to it. It's awesome having a really good, vibrant live audience to chat with, and you guys have made it really fun. So I appreciate you, all of you live viewers out there that continue to show up and support not only Start Your Systems, but the whole Race Tech Nationals presented by RaceFactorGaming.com. It's great to have an audience, and you guys make it well worth the while. Yes, that is a brewski. You did hear broski. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. How do they calculate a road settings, Kellen? You know, that's a really good question. This question was asked on the YouTube chat, so Alex Efforts, I know you're hanging out in Twitch, but if you want to drop in and answer that in YouTube chat, because I don't really know how you guys do it. I just know kind of the numbers you use and a little bit of the settings you change, but I feel like you'll give a more detailed answer. So if you want to do that, Alex, I'd appreciate that. Did I watch Loretta Lynn's, Kellen? I'm thinking you're talking about in Sim, because real Loretta Lynn's hasn't started yet, right? So no, I didn't watch it last night. But if there's more to it, maybe I'll watch it coming up soon. I don't know. What happens first? Roxon winning an overall or Barsha winning a moto? Roxon's going to win an overall before Barsha wins a moto. But honestly, I don't see either of those happening the rest of the season. I think the ship has kind of already sailed on Barcia winning a moto, just because I think that there's 3 guys that are better than him at this point already. And like, he for some reason is no longer getting starts. Like, yeah, he got a couple good starts at Redbud, but I felt like Redbud was going to be like, that's where Barcia turned it around and won a moto. He's been good at Budds Creek before, but I don't know if I see either happening. Like, I really feel like it's going to be the Eli or Marvin show the rest of the season. Let's see. Are you going to get any more AMS riders on SYS? Maybe. I haven't decided yet. Our 2 AM guys have kind of disappeared halfway through the season, so I don't really know how well that project worked for us. It's been great having Robert and Bradley both on the team, and we've really appreciated them and the work that they've done for the team. But I mean, if none of the pro riders race, why should we have an amateur team anyway? You know, it's might as well just kind of pack it in. Best advice getting into to get into the pro class. My way of getting into it was pretty unorthodox, so I mean, it's really more or less just about playing time. I would really recommend getting a group of friends that you enjoy hanging out and talking with, because then you can all get better together. It helps if they're good riders already, because then they can teach you things. But even if you guys don't really know, you can all get on servers, you know, try to hot lap each other. But more than anything, like, just try to have fun. Don't take this game too seriously, and you'll realize that with the time that you put into it and learning the, you know, nuances of everything, you'll get faster. Even if your suspension is way off, you'll find yourself doing things that you didn't think you could do before. You'll get more speed, definitely start racing the amateur races, and before you know it, you might be quick enough to be a pro. Let's see. Do I ride 125 sometime in this game? Sure, yeah, sometimes. Let's see, what else have I missed? Why don't you do 250 Moto 1 and 450 Moto right after one another? So they do that because they grab UIDs separately. So 450 guys don't need to be here till I think it's 7:20 or 7:10. So that means they can go do whatever. They can go watch TV. They could go eat dinner. They don't have to sit around and watch a moto in between their moto. Personally, I liked when there was a moto in between because I liked watching all the races. But I mean, I'm kind of weird because I stream them and I pay attention to sim a little bit more than I probably should. But other people don't care about the 250 class that race 450s or vice versa, so they don't want to sit here and watch a whole moto for those guys. So they just do 250, 250 back to back, let those guys leave whenever they want, and then grab 450 UIDs, and the 450 guys can come in if they haven't been here. They grab their UIDs and they bang 2 motos back to back, and then it's over. So they're only here for 2 hours instead of 4, essentially. Would MX Sim ever make lean and turn separate? I don't think so, because JLV has never really been fond of making lateral rider movements a possibility. But maybe? I don't know. I don't see it. So parade lap for moto number 2 here in the 250 class coming up. I am going to keep trying to answer. What moto and class is this? Like I said, 250 moto number 2 parade lap. I did a best race ever. Can I do a worst race ever? Maybe. Worst real life race ever. Supercross is weird. Episode number 2 is coming, I promise. Would I be down to make an MX Simulator training week with some pro riders to help the new guys in the game? Yeah, that might be a cool idea. I can maybe corral a couple people together and kind of talk people through it. But the problem with this game is that it's really hard to teach people what to do because everybody plays this game so differently. Some people play with 2 sticks, some people play at 1, some people do sticky sit dabs, some people don't, some people have way different advanced stability settings. Like, things that I do in this game, there's people that don't do things I do, and there's people that do stuff that I don't do. So, it's kind of tough, but maybe. Would you ever pick up a 250 AM or only 450? Like I said, I don't know if we'll even have AMs next year, but if I do, I'll make sure to let everybody know about it. Buster Boy YZ loves the channel. Thank you. I appreciate it. Do you see Roxon doing the self-start system with his boot. Yeah, those guys can all kind of do that now. Do the whole shot device with their boot and the front end or the front brake. Those guys are all pretty good at that kind of stuff. All right, so I will try to get to any questions that I missed. I apologize if I missed them, but here we go. 250 moto number 2 is on the line here at Washougal. And we'll see if the relaxed tire guys can do it again. Let's drop that gate in Washougal. I'll tell you what, it looks like Haley's got another good start on the inside. His teammate Lang is trying to beat him there, and they all kind of swarm around the outside. They come out together. It's actually the 256 of Gaskew from the outside who's going to get the whole shot. He's bringing Devin Ryan, Tyler Lang. Oh, man, all the relaxed tire guys are right up there at the sharp end of the field. My goodness, as they come up the hill the first time. I think even Hollenbeck is right there on the 762 on the outside. Oh, my goodness. So Gaskew's got just a swarm of those guys right behind him. I do not see Eagland up front as Lang tries to shoot into the lead. Gaskew, a huge mistake, comes across the track, and somehow Haley doesn't hit him, but that gives Lang the lead, and we do still have 4 relaxed tire guys right at the front. And as mentioned, it is Hollenbeck right there on the 742. So Lang leads, Haley second, Ryan third, Gaskew fourth, Hollenbeck, White, Bull, Gebhardt, Klein, Oliver, Mullins, DeLatte, Powers, Janice, Carter, Eagland, Isaiah Dickerson, Deering, Cunningham, Solis. I mean, look at the freight train of riders coming through here. Everybody's mixed together. Oh my gosh, those guys are in such a freight train over the triple. It looked like they're all in the same spot as Harry White. Absolutely launches into the sand, somehow lands it, ends up alongside of Hollenbeck as they come up to the top of the hill. And Lang, your race leader, has gone down, so Haley is now gone to the front. I don't know how Tyler Lang crashed right there. It must have been a swap. What a weird change of events. So Lang probably was hoping that might be a chance for him to win his first moto from the front, but getting passed by so many guys on the first lap is never a good thing to do, and letting his teammate and championship leader Jack Haley get out front is maybe even a worse thing to do. So here comes Haley up and over the line. Lap number 1 in the books. His teammate Devin Ryan hot on his heels and giving him the pressure from behind. Gaskew right there as well. And is that Phil Bull up in 4th? Yes, it is. So Bull having another strong showing here early on. He gets those good starts. He's bringing Gebhardt with him. Looks like Sean Klein also at the sharp end of the field. So just about every of the fast guys that you would see, except Lang, of course, who crashed, are up here right now. Gaskew may be the odd one out after not scoring points in the first moto, but getting the MXSEMF.com Whole Shot Award certainly helps his case here in moto number 2 for maybe putting some points on the board, as Phil Bull is putting the pressure on the 256 machine down by the mechanics area. Gaskew off the track and back on, so Bull is going to take the advantage down the inside, and looks like he is going to hang on to that spot. Gaskew looking inside on him, but I think he's just trying to block the line from Gebhardt, who does a really nice cut under and then scrubs the absolute face off of the single coming up Horsepower Hill. He's got such momentum. He's looking down the inside of Phil Bull here at the top. My goodness. Walter Gebhardt putting the power down. So Gebhardt putting the pressure on Bull. Gaskew, Harry White with a better start this time. Hollenbeck still under attack from Klein, DeLatte, Mullins, Eagland, Matthias Janis, Brett Powers with a good start. Seaberg, Solis, Shepard, Warden, Hubbard, Gonzalez, Cross, Deering, Carter, Oliver, Gatlin, French, Cunningham, Spinelli, Dickerson, Gatlin. Where is Tyler Lang? He's in 29th. Tyler Lang with a catastrophe from the lead to almost last. I think he was in last behind Gatlin. This is going to be really hectic to try to make it all the way forward. Look at the freight train of riders that are ahead of him. In fact, I'm going to go on board with somebody that's at the back of this freight train. Look at, there's about 7 guys going down in the sand right here. As we're on board with Kevin Gonzalez, you can see Marshmallow Helmet, Jacob Hubbard over there to his left. That's Harry White right in front of him, as there's about 6 guys on the step up right now. And even more so, look at this group in front of this. Look at all these guys going down. I think, was that Haley? Oh, that's Hollenbeck on the ground. My, oh my, look at the track map. Just an accordion effect. So many guys mixed together as we're on board with Alana Solis right here. And he is right behind Ben Seberg. Look at Brett Powers holding down the fort in ninth right now. He's going for it. He's going to win the mental game, and he's going to try to pass Matthias Janis as Ben Seberg also tries to pass him. Seberg's going to use this outside line. Does he get the drive on Powers? Looking inside. Powers shuts the door, and Seberg has to slam on the brakes. So Seberg looking to sneak away into ninth here. Meanwhile, Powers is riding fantastic here in the early going, and Warden has dropped back off these guys just a little bit, so it's still a chaotic freight train. We got a rider down, and it looked like it may have been one of the relaxed tire riders. Is it Haley? It is... No, it was Gebhardt. My apologies. It was on the ground, so that's going to put Powers up to 7th. Seberg still trying to get around him. We got Dale Mullins right there. Rico DeLatte on board with Brett Powers as he's trying to get to the inside of Matthias Janis. Look, they're going to go like 3 wide almost up the hill here. I think Seberg is going to try to put the power down. Look at 4 riders ahead of him, almost side by side coming up Horsepower Hill as Janis squeaks to the left side of Rico DeLatte. And now he's trying to get down to the inside of Brett Powers as well. Absolute manic action here. Look at this, 5 riders all funneling into the same corner here, with really Warden not too far behind these guys. And Seberg's got a front row seat to all of this. Is he going to pull alongside of Brett Powers? Is he going to out-jump him down the hill? Powers is trying to stick to the inside, and I think he's just going to let Seberg have it there. So Powers slots back behind the 55. My, oh my. This has been amazing action here early, so Powers still runs in a great 8th position here. He's going to try to hang on to that spot, but he comes up a touch short there, jumping into the sand. Warden is going to loop out and go down, so that's going to allow Gonzalez to go through. And now Seberg's starting to put the pressure. All of this I'm just doing on board here because these guys are so close together. It's hard to see what's going on as there's 3 wide over the tabletop in front of him. Dale Mullins getting double passed by Matthias Janis and Rico DeLatte, who goes up into 4th. Look at DeLatte, man. Excellent ride to come through the field in the first moto. Now finds himself right up here at the front in the second one. Let's see what he can do with a good start as Mullins is going to try to go down the inside into the rollers before the finish. Let's see if he can make that work on Janis. Janis lands on him, and they're both down in the rollers. And woo, Gonzalez has to jump over Dale Mullins. Here is Eagland. Janis gets going sideways. And look, there's about 7 riders on the screen here as they come through the rollers to complete the 3rd lap of the race here. And they're still all mixed together. Look at how many guys are mixed together here. We have, what is that? 123 of Braden Carter, Eagland. This is Gebhardt trying to use an outside line. Dale Mullins is right here as well. And then we saw Janis get together with Mullins. And Mullins is going to get together with Zoe Cross, and they both go down. Cross had... and then Cross gets going sideways and gets into Alana Solis. Somehow that didn't take Solis down. And look at Tyler Lang. Tyler Lang is up to 16th, now 15th spot. Oh my goodness, look at the progress he's making through the field. And he's got about 78 guys still right in front of him. There's so many riders mixed together as he gets around, or he's trying to get around Marshmallow Helmet. Jacob Hubbard down the inside here. So Lang trying to put the move. Hubbard's going to try to fight back. Does he push him wide? Look at Lang, cuts across and takes that spot, and Hubbard has to back out of the challenge. Lang looks like he is the man on the mission right now. Look at this battle going up Horsepower Hill here. All right. Whew. Take a breather for a second. I'll give credit where credit's due. Brett Powers is having an absolutely fantastic motor. He's going to try to put the pressure here on Kevin Gonzalez. This is going to be for 6th spot. And Rico DeLatte ahead of them. Ben Seberg, Phil Bull, and it's still a 1v1 battle out front of the teammates. Jack Haley versus Devin Ryan. They're about to come down and complete lap number 4. And Haley opening up just a small gap, just ever so slightly, on Devin Ryan. And Ryan makes a small bobble there after the finish. And we got Phil Bull coming through in third. We'll do a little bit of run through the field as we're just about to crest 10 minutes into this thing, and I think the best spot to do it is here in the whoops. You get a real good idea of where everybody is Seberg right here in front of Rico Delat, who's having an excellent race here. First time we've really seen him most of this season. Kevin Gonzalez. Donut MX is getting all kinds of huckabuck in the whoops. Hold on to it there. Matthias Janis, Jake Warden, Braden Carter, Alana Salas, Colby Eaglin, Tyler Lang all coming behind him. Then we got Hubbard, White, Mullins, Cross, Gebhardt, Gatland, and oh my goodness, Cross is all over the place. Klein is way, way back, so those points in that first moto are going to end up meaning a lot championship-wise. Dakota French, Ash Deering, Tony Spinelli ripping up the 125, and Jared Gasky after getting the EMF.com Whole Shot Award is way back here outside of the points now. Hollenbeck was inside of the top 4 early as well. He's outside of the points. We got Garrett Oliver hits the deck here. Whew. Isaiah Dickerson also having a terrible moto, ends up crashing in the exact same spot Oliver was. Trent Shepard out of the race, as is Dylan Gatlin, Alex Cunningham, and myself in warm-up mode. Saw Donut MX just hit the deck coming up the hill. It looks like he lost a spot and might be looking at losing another one, as Jacob Warden is trying to pull alongside a battle of the Red Bull teammates, as it were. Look at these two guys running the same helmet scheme. Are they teammates? Yeah, they are. I didn't even realize that. My mistake. I don't have donut skins, so just made sense though with the Red Bull and the Fox gear. But Jacob Warden puts the pass on his teammate. That's going to move him up to 8th. Donut back to 9th. Braden Carter trying to apply the pressure from 10th. Colby Eagland in 11th. Whew. All right, let's settle things down just a little bit. Oh, change of the lead. Jack Haley has coughed it up. Devin Ryan is taking over, and Haley is continuing to run into small issues here. So let's get a sign of the lap times as they come by here. Ryan actually has a faster lap of the two and lays down a 2:27.1, a 2:31.1 for Haley. So must have had some big problems there that last lap. Lost 4 seconds. Maybe a tip over, or just maybe some small mistakes, because they're starting to kind of pack up a little bit. Another off-track excursion. These two are long gone ahead of the rest of the field, and Haley almost over the bars there in that corner as well. So Haley definitely lost touch really quickly with his teammate Devin Ryan here. Phil Bull another strong third. Delat, Gonzalez, Janis, Warden, and here's Brett Powers with Ben Seberg, Braden Carter, Colby Eagland, Alana Salas, all right behind him. Seberg goes through, so that's going to drop Brett Powers back to 10th. Carter's trying to get through, and Eagland almost got into the back of him. Somewhere lost in all this mess, we have lost track of Tyler Lang, who was up to 14th and was leading this moto at one point as well at the beginning. And look at Eagland, shoots down the inside. Will he hold the spot on Carter, who tried to carry the momentum around the outside? Not able to make it happen, though. So good move there by Eagland, moves him ahead. And actually, so Powers is in 9th. Eagland now inside of the top 10 as they all work their way up Horsepower Hill, and we just have 4 or 5 guys still all mixed together. Look at Warden, man. He's getting the pressure down here on Matthias Janis. Jake Warden absolutely flying right now. He's taking none of it from his prisoner. He is putting a beat down on these guys. But he's making a couple mistakes and starting to lose touch with Janis just as I start talking about with him. We'll have to be wary of Ben Seberg coming in the background. Meanwhile, Gonzalez down in the switchbacks. Gonna lose 3 spots there. Might get the spot back on Seberg, and he does. Oh, Rico Delat goes down. That's going to be a no bueno for him. And Eagland goes down, kind of stacks up some guys. Alana Salas and Braden Carter are both on the deck. So here comes Klein. Dale Mullins hits the deck. And then Jacob Hubbard, I believe that is on the inside, hits the deck as well. So Gebhardt was able to go through, as was Lang, although I'm not sure where Lang just went. He has disappeared. It's a battle between Sean Klein, Braden Carter, and Alana Solis on your screen with Gebhardt, and it looks like Lang right behind him. Good little three-rider freight train right here. Klein trying to switch up his line. Take an outside, then come back to the inside here. And meanwhile, Gebhardt is closing in on these guys. You can see power. Look at all 5 of these guys in the whoops as Klein gets sketched, goes off the side of the track, and it looks like Gebhardt just laid it down before the finish. So it gives Lang a spot. And Klein really going to work here on Alana Solis. Definitely a turnaround moto for Solis as well. Good to see Solis having a stronger ride in the second moto. Was not able to put it all together in that first one, but he's putting the pressure down on Braden Carter, actually getting away from Sean Klein just a little bit, and talked just briefly there about Sean Klein using those points from the first moto to kind of help him keep the championship alive. We're going to have 3 rounds left to go once we get to Unadilla in 2 weeks' time. Of course, next week's going to be off as Solis shuts the door on Carter. But as they run, Haley is he going to... No, he would not win the overall from here. This would be his first lost overall. Regardless, he's looking at a 47-point haul versus a 15, let's see, Klein's in 12th, so that's 9, so he's looking at a 24-point haul versus 47 points. That would be a switch of, yeah, I'm doing math terribly here, 24 points, and it was a 105-point lead, but of course Haley needed, oh, Klein almost got into the side of Solis. Haley needed 150 points leaving Washougal, so it's not going to be enough regardless. But it's pretty well under wraps at this point. I mean, Haley, like I said, has to have a catastrophe happen at this point to lose this title. And at this point, what the real question is can he go perfect in overalls? Thus far, he is 8 for 8. And looking to go 9 for 9 today, but as they run, it would not fall in his favor. Devin Ryan on a 3-1 would beat his teammate. Or I'm sorry, I'm an idiot. Haley is going to win the overall regardless because he's going to go 1-2. I was thinking of Lang here. I thought Lang won the first moto for some reason. Haley would win the overall regardless as they run. So keeps his perfect overall streak alive. And Devin Ryan would just be happy to win a moto here. He has definitely had his ups and downs this season. Always really strong late in the races, making good, strong charges. But the first part of the races have been kind of his kryptonite, it seems, and at least here at Washougal, he's turned it around so far. Let's see how long would he be able to hold off his teammate, though. Haley's definitely not really catching him, per se. They're getting away from Phil Bowles. Seaberg is up to 4th. Jacob Warden having really just a great ride right now in 5th. Colby Eagland is up to 6th. Rico Delat has slipped back to 7th. Matthias Janis 8th. Brett Powers is still in 9th and trying to make it relax in the top 10. All 4 of them again. Oh my, I don't have words for how Tyler Lang just saved that. Left, right, sideways off the track, then runs over a tough block, and somehow is still on the racetrack right behind Braden Carter here, trying to get that 10th spot, as I mentioned. So Lang applying the pressure here to Carter. No real terrible close battles. Here's Warden and Eagland. I feel like I've just talked about these relaxed attire guys all day long, but they're riding so well as Warden makes a mistake. And that's going to allow Eagland to go through. And it looks like this battle for the lead is about to start heating up. I'll tell you what, Haley just laid down a 229 to a 230.6 for Devin Ryan, and it is on. These two are well gone out front. 20 minutes into this moto, so we've got about 10 minutes and 2 laps left to go, and it's pretty much going to be mano-a-mano here unless they take each other out a couple times, and Phil Bull might still have an opportunity to get in on the action here. But Haley is pushing the envelope. He's won the last 3 motos. He wants to make it the last 4 motos regardless of the overall streak. The one switch here is Phil Bull is 16 seconds behind. If Haley pushes a little too hard maybe and crashes a couple times, loses that second position to Phil Bull, then the overall would go to Devin Ryan on a 3-1 to Haley's 1-3. A little unlikely given Haley's track record this season, but you never know. That is just why we run these races week in and week out. So right now it looks like just when I thought Haley was putting pressure on his teammate Devin Ryan, he's lost a little bit of ground to him. Oh, Janice had moved up to 5th and he goes down, so Delat goes through. Eagland goes through. Warden slots back on by. Will Janice get going ahead of Brett Powers? I think he will, just barely, yeah. And Brett Powers has Braden Carter still breathing down his neck as well. So a little 3-rider train right here. Janice, Powers, Carter. This is going to be your fight for 8th position on the racetrack. So either way, we are looking at a very realistic career best for Brett Powers here today. And he looks awful feisty in this second moto. An 18th in the first one, looking to get into 8th in the second one. Let's just see if he is able to make it work on Matthias Janis or not. Looks like he's losing touch just a little bit though. Walter Gebhardt has made the pass on Kevin Gonzalez, or I'm sorry, Braden Carter, I should say, as has Sean Klein. So Carter made, looks like maybe just a small mistake and lost a huge chunk of time. Head back up front because if these guys start battling, we won't want to miss it. Oh my goodness, Devin Ryan with a huge lurch. And, oh, small mistake. Now the battle's going to be on. Haley can really sense it. The pressure's being applied, and Ryan is starting to make some mistakes as Haley continues his launching out to the flat here. Not sure which one is the better of the two options. It seems, oh, like Ryan maybe carries a little bit of momentum over the top of the hill, but Jack Haley's obviously able to carry a little bit more momentum at the bottom because he doesn't let off to do that jump. And Ryan's definitely starting to make some mistakes. Oh, small bobble there from Ryan again. Still able to get to the inside rut and rip it. He got those lines really cleanly, so he's opened up just a small, just an ever so slight cushion again. Oh, but Haley pulls it right back in with a beautiful line into the corner. And they're going to pull up really close together here. Haley's trying to pull alongside. Not quite there yet as Devin Ryan's still throwing down on the single. Battle for the lead here at Washougal. 6 minutes and 2 laps remaining. Can Devin Ryan hold out the attack here from his teammate Haley, who's going down the inside? He's going to pull alongside on the tabletop. They look like they're having some fun. Devin Ryan with a little bit of bike humping. And they're both going to kind of funnel into the same line here, so not much of a change. And Haley's still just trying to keep that pressure applied. Launches out to flat. Woo! What a save! Wow. So Haley loses a little bit of time there. Ryan pulls it back out, up and over the finish line. Lap number 10 in the books. Lap number 11 ahead of these guys, still yet to come. We'll go on board with the 57 here. Just sitting back watching what Haley does here. What kind of lines is he going to take to make a difference here? Still just a little over a second adrift. And Ryan seems like he's pretty good through this lower half of the track. I think Haley's got a little bit more speed in the middle. .2 seconds. Ooh, got a little bit of a hiccup there in that corner. It looked like Haley was going to get kicked forward, but fortunately the jump wasn't big enough. Again, different lines. Ryan's still using that outside. Haley shoots down the inside. So Haley stays way left here, avoids some of the ruts coming in, and Ryan goes a little bit wide entering. He's able to carry his speed through the corners, but then Haley here at the bottom, he's also got a really great line working for him where he just kind of charges in. Like I mean, he clawed away just a few tenths there, but those few tenths matter. You put the pressure on Ryan, you keep him thinking about you. I mean, I'm sure these guys are talking to each other, they're teammates, so they're probably in the same group chat, kind of feeding information to each other. I'm sure that there's not that many nerves going on, because when you're 1-2 with your teammate this far out in front of the rest of the field, you tend to loosen up just a little bit. But, I mean, Devin Ryan's still potentially looking at his first career moto victory here, and the time is creeping away, and with it, I gotta imagine the nerves maybe creep in just a little bit. So here we go into the whoops one more time. Oh, Devin Ryan with a mistake. He ends up on the right side of the track. Haley pulls alongside, and over the finish line jump, he takes the lead away from him. On to lap number 12, Jack Haley, your new race leader here at Washougal. What does Devin Ryan have in response here? Is he going to go back after him, or will he try to settle in and hope for a mistake? What a great move by Haley, and it looks like our question has been answered. Ryan is not letting him go, and Haley makes a mistake. He is down. He was not off the bike, though, but he is high-centered on the rut. He's going to take a little bit of while to get going here, and he finds himself about 4 seconds adrift now, with about 2.5 minutes and 2 laps left to go, I would say. So Devin Ryan back out front at Washougal. Can he hold off another charge? Ben Seberg, by the way, has made his way up to third. And I'll tell you what, folks, he is kind of hauling the mail here. He is only 9 seconds back of Haley. 2:28.7 last time by. These guys obviously in the 2:27s, 2:28s, 2:29s as well right now. But Seberg being only 9 seconds back is kind of critical here with those guys kind of messing around with each other up front. Maybe they get together one more time before this race is over. You can't count these guys out when there's fall-off crashes still in play. Looks like Jacob Warden and his teammate Brett Powers are having a little bit of a tiff here. I believe this is for 9th, so I think Powers has slid back to 10th, but still looking at a career best. Yeah, 10th spot for Powers right now, right behind his teammate Warden. Gonzalez 11th, Salas 12th, Lang has kind of stalled out here in 13th. I think he was maybe hoping for a little bit more, and he's down again. Not the moto Lang wanted to have after leading the race early, crashed out of the lead, and of course finished second in our first moto. I think that in his eyes, this was a race he could win in that second moto with that start, and it has not panned out the way he had hoped. It is still panning out the way he had hoped for his teammates, though, and the rest of his team, as Devin Ryan and his other teammate Jack Haley are still 1 and 2. It's not going to quite be the 1 through 4 sweep that we saw from Alaxatire in the first moto. But these guys are definitely going to end up 1-2 on the box. And depending on where Eagland ends up, he might be third. I'm trying to remember where Seberg ended up in that first moto. I want to say he was in fifth or sixth. So I think Eagland would need to get to him, honestly. Jack Haley looks like he is flying right now. Did a 236 flat last time by, but that was of course with that small bobble, little bit of a tip over. Now has the lead under 2 seconds again, and these guys did beat the timer. So we have 3 laps to go here, moto number 2 at Washougal in the 250 class. And it's the teammates battling again, and Ben Seberg lurking a further 10 seconds adrift, just hoping these guys get together and really kick things off. Ooh, small mistake from Haley, almost rode up and over the rut, now trying to get out of the rough stuff. And it looks like he's just got a little bit better drive up horsepower hill there. He's pulled it within 1 second now. And he can see Devin Ryan continuing to make some small mistakes. So will the teammates get together for the lead, or will they play nice? Ooh, Haley got a bit of a kick. Coming down the drop-off into the switchbacks. He's all over Devin Ryan for the lead. Here we go. 2.5 laps to go, and Haley's just going to get right on by now. He is not wasting any more time. To the lead, Haley goes. What does Devin Ryan have in response? Is he going to go after him one more time? Will he wait for Haley to make that crucial mistake once again? You see Ryan scrubs it a little bit lower here. He's going to be able to carry a little bit more speed here as well. He might get a drive to pull alongside as Haley makes another mistake, and Devin Ryan's going to go back to the lead on the step-up. He's going to swing wide, though, as Haley goes inside, and they're still maybe going to come out side by side. My, oh my, what a great battle for the lead here. Coming to 2 laps to go at Washougal. It's Devin Ryan and Jack Haley, teammates 1 and 2 here. But I got to imagine that they are not going to be playing too much friendlier anymore, as this 2-lap board is going to come out. I think that the battle for the lead is going to be on to the finish line here as Haley's trying to get a drive. He's going to pull alongside in the whoops and retake the lead. Coming back over the line. Ryan's trying to swing wide and keep the pressure on. He's going to go to the inside in this corner and jump to the outside, but not quite shut the door. Haley swings out there, takes the race lead away. So Haley reassumes the race lead. Will it be for good this time, or does Devin Ryan have something else to give? They're about to lap Dale Mullins. Seberg about 13 seconds behind these guys now, so it really is mano-a-mano. And it looks like Haley might be settling in, and as I say that, he goes down. Haley is down on the outside of the track. What is happening? And just as I had mentioned before, Haley is suddenly in kind of a danger zone here. If he loses one more spot, and I'll tell you what, Ben Seberg is not that far behind, then he may lose that overall streak. 8 for 8 on overalls this year. But a Seberg pass and a Devin Ryan moto win switches all of that. So does he go to conservative mode here? Does Haley realize, I've got to keep this overall streak alive? Or is he still going to try to push it and try to go after his teammate just in case a mistake happens out front? We know what Seberg wants. He just wants chaos. The more chaos, the better. The more those guys crash, the better. Maybe, just maybe, he can sneak in a moto win here. Oh, Devin Ryan! Woo! Sideways. Or shall I say slideways. Able to save it, but he did miss a timing gate on the face of the step-up, so that's going to be some cuts. Boy, that was really stuck if this race victory came down to cuts. I don't think that's going to be enough as they run right now, but if Haley gets this thing close, you never know. Either way, white flag about to be waving here at Washougal. Devin Ryan on the verge of picking up his very first career moto victory. One more lap to do it. Can he hang on? Haley swapping in the whoops. He's down. He is not off the bike. Here comes Seberg. Seberg's gonna pull alongside. Almost got into him. Seberg's gonna go wide. This is the optimal line if he holds it, but he's not. He is sketched out, and Haley shuts the door. This is gonna change the overall if Seberg gets him. Oh my. Haley at this point likely is sweating bullets. Devin Ryan probably knows what's going on behind him, and it might not only be his first moto win ever, it might be his first overall win ever, as here is Seberg. He's gonna scrub alongside and get the drive down the inside into Haley, all the way to the outside, pushes him off the track, and Seberg takes the spot away. Oh baby. The overall has switched. Devin Ryan is leading, but oh, he is now right in front of these guys. What has happened? A possible mistake out front from Devin Ryan. Ben Seberg has blood in the water. He wants this race victory so bad. Oh, and Seberg is pushing the envelope. He can see Devin Ryan again. Seberg has these two guys' fates in their hands. If Seberg catches and passes Devin Ryan for the lead, that holds the overall for Haley, and Ryan makes a mistake. Haley wins the overall if Ben Seberg wins this moto, but as they stand, it is Devin Ryan winning the overall. Oh my goodness, Devin Ryan made another mistake. Haley is right there. We got three riders battling for the win at Washougal. And Devin Ryan is upside down, and he is down. He's off the bike. Seberg to the race lead. Devin Ryan throws away his first career moto win, and with it, his first career overall. Now, can Seberg pick up his first career victory? That is what is on the line here. It is Haley for the overall as they run, but Seberg is going to try to win this race. Final couple corners. And Haley hits the deck. Seberg can cruise it. Does he know? Has somebody told him? Through the final section, the whoops, and he will survive. Ben Seberg has won 250 Moto number 2 at Washougal. Oh my, and Jack Haley keeps the streak alive, going 1-2, and he wins the overall. Devin Ryan has had his heart ripped out from the inside, and instead of going 3-1, he goes 3-3. Oh my goodness gracious, what an ending to that race. Oh, Colby Eagland is going to bring this thing home in fourth. How about this battle? Phil Bull and Rico Delat. Rico Delat hits the deck, though. Walter Gebhardt, oh my goodness. My heart can't take it. Phil Bull, Rico Delat, Walter Gebhardt, Sean Klein. Whew. All right, Klein comes across in 7th. Gebhardt is going to come across in 8th. Tyler Ling comes across 9th. 10th, Matthias Janis. Some of these guys we didn't even talk about for the end of this moto. It was so good. Jacob Warden finishes 11th. Brett Powers, another career best ride. 12th place for Donut. Alana Solis. Looks like he's going to pick up 13th. 14th for Kevin Gonzalez. 15th for Braden Carter. 16th for Jacob Hubbard. 17th for Dakota French. We'll see if these guys stay in these positions here. like, oh no, Hubbard goes down in the final corner. So French definitely going to pick up a spot on Hubbard. Hubbard is going to get going right here with Jack Gatlin. So it's a bit of a drag race. Who has the drive? And Hubbard's going to go down again. So Gatlin's going to get the spot. Come across 17th, and Hubbard will be the last guy in the lead lap in 18th. Deering was 19th. 20th for Dale Mullins. 21st for Tony Spinelli. Hollenbeck 22nd. And did Cuts change anything up front? They did not. Ben Seberg, Moto number 2 winner, the first of his career. Jack Haley keeps his overall streak alive and extends his points lead. Unbelievable action. You won't want to touch that URL bar because things have kicked off here at Washougal, and we are just getting started. 450 motos coming up next, but we thank you for watching round number 9 of the Race Tech Nationals. The 250 class is done at Washougal. We'll see you guys on the other side of this quick break. Don't touch that URL bar. We'll be right back.